I'm standing in front of a mirror in a penthouse suite in Manhattan. The woman staring back at me is not the girl who went to prison 5 years ago. That girl died in a cold cell. I am what rose from her ashes. My name is Sophie Bennett. And tonight, I'm going to destroy the man I once loved more than life itself. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me take you back to where it all began. To the day I made the biggest mistake of my life. 5 years ago, I was a nobody. Just a girl from Brooklyn who cleaned offices at night and dreamed of something better. My hands were rough. My clothes were old. But my heart? My heart was full of hope. That's when I met Ethan Walker. He was everything I wasn't. Rich. Handsome. Born into a world where money solved every problem. When he smiled at me in that coffee shop, I thought it was a mistake. Men like him didn't notice girls like me. But he did. "You dropped this," he said, holding out my worn notebook. I took it with shaking hands. "Thank you. What's your name?" His eyes were so blue. So kind. "Sophie. I'm Ethan. Can I buy you coffee, Sophie?" That coffee turned into dinner. Dinner turned into late-night walks. And before I knew it, I was in love. Deeply, completely, foolishly in love. "You're different from everyone I know," Ethan whispered one night, holding me close. "You're real." I believed him. God help me. I believed every word. 6 months later, he asked me to help him with something. "Something small," he said. "Something that wouldn't hurt anyone." "I need you to sign some papers for me," he said. "It's for a business deal. My name can't be on them right now because of family reasons." I should have asked questions. I should have been smarter. But when you love someone, you want to help them. You want to be the person they need. So I signed. 2 weeks later, the police knocked on my door at 6 in the morning. "Sophie Bennett, you're under arrest for fraud and money laundering." My world collapsed in seconds. "There's been a mistake." I screamed as they put handcuffs on my wrists. I didn't do anything. But the papers had my signature. My name. My bank account had received money I never knew about. The evidence was perfect. Too perfect. I called Ethan 100 times from the police station. He didn't answer. When he finally came to see me, his face was pale. "Ethan, tell them the truth," I begged through the glass. "Tell them those papers were for you." He looked at me for a long moment. Then he said the words that killed me. "Sophie, I can't. My family, my future. Everything depends on my reputation staying clean. If I go down, I lose everything. But you? You have nothing to lose." I felt my heart stop. Nothing to lose? "Ethan, I have my life. My freedom. I'll take care of you," he promised. "I'll make sure you have the best lawyer. And when this is over, we'll be together." I swear. More lies. All lies. My lawyer was cheap and rushed. The trial was a joke. The judge sentenced me to 5 years. 5 years in a cage while Ethan Walker walked free. Prison changes you. It has to. If it doesn't, you won't survive. The first week, I cried every night. I wrote letters to Ethan, begged him to tell the truth, begged him to visit. He never came. After 3 months, his mother did. Margaret Walker sat across from me in the visiting room like I was dirt on her expensive shoes. She wore pearls. I wore prison gray. "I want you to understand something, Sophie," she said coldly. "My son has a future. A bright one. And you were never part of it." "He said he loved me," I whispered. She laughed. Actually laughed. "Love? Sweet girl, men like my son don't love women like you. They have fun with you. Then they marry women like Charlotte Gray." My blood turned to ice. "Who?" "Charlotte Gray. She's from the Preston family. Old money. Good breeding. Everything you're not." Margaret leaned forward. "Ethan is engaged to her now. The wedding is in 3 months. He's moving on, Sophie. You should too." She stood up and walked away, leaving me shattered. That night, something inside me broke. And something else was born. Rage. Pure, cold, beautiful rage. I stopped crying. I stopped writing letters. I started working out, reading, planning, learning everything I could about business, psychology, and the law. The other inmates thought I was crazy, obsessed. Maybe I was. But in that cell, I made myself a promise. When I got out, I would take everything from Ethan Walker. Everything he loved. Everything he built on my suffering. He made his first mistake when he let me take the fall. His second mistake? Thinking I would stay broken. The day I walked out of prison, it was raining. 5 years gone, stolen from me. I had no home. No job, no friends. But I had something better. A plan. I spent the first month working 3 jobs. I cleaned houses during the day. Served tables at night. Saved every dollar. I lived in a tiny room that smelled like mold and regret. But I was free. And I was focused. I studied Ethan from the shadows. His company was doing well. Too well. His wife Charlotte was pregnant. They lived in a penthouse on the Upper East Side. Perfect life. Perfect family. All built on my destroyed dreams. I also learned about Daniel Hayes, Ethan's business partner. The man who had actually helped Ethan set me up. He was the one who created the fake documents. The one who made sure the evidence pointed only to me. Daniel was smart, dangerous, and he had his own secrets. Through careful digging and some help from a private investigator I paid with my savings, I discovered something beautiful. Daniel was stealing from the company. Small amounts. Hiding it perfectly. But not perfectly enough. I created a fake identity. Emily Ross. I made a professional-looking website. Fake references. And I applied for a job at Walker & Hayes Investments. 3 weeks later, I was hired as an assistant. Nobody recognized me. 5 years and 30 pounds of muscle will do that. I cut my hair. Changed my style. Wore glasses. Walked differently. Sophie Bennett was dead. Emily Ross was born. And Emily Ross was about to burn everything down. My first day at Walker & Hayes, I saw him. Ethan. He walked past my desk without even looking at me. His suit cost more than my entire year in prison probably cost the state. His smile was practiced. Perfect. Fake. I felt nothing. That scared me a little. Shouldn't I feel anger? Pain? But no. I felt cold. Empty. Ready. Emily, right? A voice broke my thoughts. I looked up. Daniel Hayes stood there, charming smile in place. The man who helped destroy me. Yes, Mr. Hayes, I said sweetly. Call me Daniel. We're all family here. He leaned on my desk. You have an impressive resume. Stanford Business School? All fake, of course. But he believed it. I worked hard, I lied smoothly. I like that. Hard workers go far in this company. He winked and walked away. You have no idea how far I'm willing to go, I thought. Over the next 2 months, I became invaluable. I worked late, volunteered for extra projects, made myself essential. I learned every system, every password, every weakness. I also planted seeds. A small mistake in Daniel's expense report that made it look suspicious. A casual mention to HR about seeing him meet with strange people. Nothing big. Nothing traceable. Just tiny cracks in his perfect image. Meanwhile, I studied Ethan, his routines, his habits, his fears. And then, at the company party in December, I saw her. Charlotte Walker. Ethan's wife. She was beautiful. Elegant. Everything I wasn't when Ethan knew me. Her hand rested on her pregnant belly as she laughed at something someone said. Ethan stood beside her, the perfect husband. I wanted to scream. To throw my drink in his face. To tell everyone what he did to me. But revenge isn't about anger. It's about patience. You look like you've seen a ghost. I turned. A man stood beside me. Tall. Kind eyes. Simple gray suit. I'm sorry, I said. You were staring at the walkers pretty intensely. Bad memories? My heart raced. Who was this man? I don't know what you mean. He smiled gently. I'm Liam Brooks. I work in accounting. And I'm very good at reading people. You have the look of someone who's been hurt by the people in this room. I should have walked away. But something in his eyes made me pause. Maybe I just don't like office parties, I said carefully. Fair enough. He handed me his card. If you ever need to talk to someone who isn't trying to climb the corporate ladder, I'm around. Then he walked away, leaving me confused and slightly afraid. Who was Liam Brooks? And what did he know? 3 months into my job, I made my first real move. I had been copying Daniel's files for weeks. Every shady deal. Every hidden account. Every lie. I packaged it all beautifully and sent it anonymously to the SEC and the FBI. Then I waited. 2 weeks later, federal agents walked into the office and arrested Daniel Hayes for fraud and embezzlement. The office exploded in chaos. People crying, shouting. Daniel was led away in handcuffs, screaming that it was a mistake. I watched from my desk, completely calm. Ethan was panicking. His business partner and best friend was gone. The company was under investigation. His perfect life was cracking. Emily, I need you to pull all of Daniel's files, Ethan said, running his hand through his hair. He looked stressed. Good. Of course, Mr. Walker, I said professionally. As he walked away, I allowed myself the smallest smile. 1 down. More to go. That night, Liam Brooks called me. We should talk, he said. About what? My voice was guarded. About what you're doing, Sophie. My blood froze. Who? I know who you are, Liam said quietly. I've known since the day you started. I hung up. My hands were shaking. How did he know? How? 20 minutes later, someone knocked on my apartment door. I opened it, ready to run. Liam stood there, hands up. I'm not here to expose you. I'm here to help. Why would you help me? I demanded. Because I was there, he said. At your trial. My sister was dating Daniel Hayes 5 years ago. She knew something was wrong with that business deal. She tried to warn someone, but nobody listened. When you went to prison, she felt guilty. She killed herself a year later. The air left my lungs. I'm sorry. So am I, Liam said. Daniel Hayes destroyed her. When you showed up at the office, I did some digging. Found out who you really were. And I realized what you were planning. Are you going to stop me? I asked. He looked at me for a long moment. No, I'm going to help you. But Sophie, revenge has a cost. Trust me. I've thought about it every day since my sister died. At some point, you have to ask yourself if it's worth what you're losing. I've already lost everything, I whispered. Have you? His eyes were so gentle. Or are you just afraid to try building something new? I didn't answer. I couldn't. With Daniel gone, the company was vulnerable. And Ethan was desperate. He started making mistakes. Big ones. I helped him along. A wrong number here. A missed email there. Nothing obvious. But enough. Meanwhile, Charlotte Walker gave birth to a baby boy. I saw the birth announcement in the paper. For some reason, that hurt more than anything else. Ethan had a family. A son. A life. While I had nothing but rage and plans. You're losing yourself, Liam said one evening. We had started meeting regularly. He was the only person who knew the truth. The only person I could talk to. I'm finding myself, I corrected. No, you're becoming what they made you. Hard, cold, alone. Maybe that's who I need to be. Sophie. He reached across the table and took my hand. The touch was warm, gentle. I almost pulled away. You've spent 5 years planning revenge. But have you spent even 5 minutes thinking about what comes after? After? I laughed bitterly. There is no after. There's only making them pay. And then what? You'll still be alone. Still broken. Still trapped in that prison cell in your mind. His words cut deeper than any knife. You don't understand, I said. I do, Liam said. I watched my sister destroy herself with hatred. It consumed her until there was nothing left. I don't want that for you. I'm not your sister. No, you're the woman I'm falling in love with. And I'm terrified I'm going to lose you to this. I stared at him, shocked. You, what? I know it's crazy, Liam said. I know you're on a mission. But Sophie, I see you. The real you. Under all this anger and pain. And she's beautiful. She deserves better than this. I pulled my hand away. I need to go. I ran. Because what scared me more than Ethan Walker? The possibility that Liam was right. 2 weeks later, I made my next move. I had found evidence. Real evidence. Documents that showed Ethan had framed me. Conversations he had with Daniel. Plans they made. My signature forged. I could go to the police. Get my conviction overturned. Get justice. But that wasn't enough. I wanted him to fall publicly, completely, spectacularly, so I waited for the perfect moment. The Walker and Hayes annual gala. 500 people from New York's elite. Press, cameras, everyone who mattered. I wore a red dress that night. Did my makeup carefully. Let down my hair. I looked like myself for the first time in 5 years. When I walked into the ballroom, several people turned to look. I saw the exact moment Ethan recognized me. His face went white. Charlotte was beside him, holding their baby. She looked at me, confused. She had no idea who I was. Hello, Ethan, I said, walking up to them. Sophie. His voice shook. What are you doing here? I work for you. Or did you not recognize your assistant Emily Ross? Charlotte looked between us. Who is this, Ethan? Someone from my past, Ethan said quickly. Someone from his past? I laughed. Is that what I am? Charlotte, let me introduce myself properly. My name is Sophie Bennett. I spent 5 years in prison for a crime your husband committed. A crime you let me take the blame for. A crime that destroyed my life while he married you and played happy family. The people around us stopped talking. Conversations died. Everyone was listening now. Sophie, please, Ethan begged. Don't do this. Don't do what? Tell the truth? Show everyone who you really are? You're insane. Margaret Walker's voice cut through the crowd. Ethan's mother walked toward us, her face twisted in disgust. Security, remove this woman. Before I go, I said loudly. Pulling out a USB drive. Maybe everyone would like to see the evidence I've collected. Emails, documents, recordings, everything. That proves Ethan Walker framed an innocent woman to protect his precious reputation. The room exploded in whispers. She's lying. Ethan shouted. Am I? I held up the USB drive. Then let's show everyone. Right now. Unless you'd like to confess first. Ethan looked trapped, panicked. For the first time in 5 years, I saw him as he really was. A coward. Charlotte was staring at him, horror on her face. Ethan, tell me she's lying. He opened his mouth, closed it, opened it again. And then he ran. He actually ran. Out of the ballroom. Away from his wife. His mother. His life. Security chased after him. But the damage was done. Charlotte stood there, holding her baby, tears streaming down her face. Margaret Walker looked like she'd been slapped. I should have felt victorious, triumphant. Instead, I felt empty. The next few days were chaos. The USB drive had everything. The press had a field day. Ethan was arrested. His company collapsed. Charlotte filed for divorce. Margaret Walker tried to pay me off, threatened me. When that didn't work, she tried to have me arrested again. But this time I had proof. My conviction was overturned. I was officially declared innocent. I should have been happy. I won. I destroyed them completely. But I felt nothing. I sat in my apartment, surrounded by silence, and realized Liam was right. The revenge didn't heal me. It just made a different kind of prison. There was a knock at my door. I opened it. Liam stood there with coffee and sad eyes. "I heard," he said. "You did it." "Yeah." My voice was hollow. "Do you feel better?" "No," I whispered. "I feel worse." He stepped inside and pulled me into a hug. I broke. All the tears I hadn't cried in 5 years came pouring out. "I wanted it to fix me," I sobbed into his chest. "I wanted to feel whole again. But I'm still broken. Still angry. Still lost." "Because revenge doesn't heal wounds, Sophie," Liam said gently. "It just creates new ones. Then what do I do now?" I asked. "I spent 5 years planning this. It was the only thing keeping me going. And now it's over and I don't know who I am anymore." "Then maybe it's time to find out," Liam said. He pulled back and looked at me. Not Sophie who went to prison. Not Sophie who wanted revenge. Just Sophie. "Who do you want to be now?" I didn't have an answer. A week later, Charlotte Walker came to see me. She looked tired, broken. Her baby was with a nanny somewhere. She sat across from me in a coffee shop, hands wrapped around a cup she wasn't drinking. "I wanted to hate you," she said finally. "When you showed up at that gala. When you destroyed everything. I wanted to hate you so much." "I understand," I said. "But I can't," Charlotte continued. Her voice cracked. "Because you told the truth. And the truth is, I've been living a lie. Married to a man I didn't really know. Raising a child with a criminal." "Charlotte, I'm sorry." "Don't," she interrupted. "Don't apologize. You did what you had to do. What I want to know is, was it worth it? The revenge? Did it make you feel better?" I thought about lying. But what was the point? "No," I admitted. "It didn't." Charlotte nodded slowly. "My mother always said revenge is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die." I never understood what she meant. Until now. We sat in silence for a moment. "What will you do now?" I asked. "I don't know," Charlotte said. "Take care of my son. Figure out who I am without the Walker name. Maybe start over." "Starting over is hard," I said. "So is revenge," Charlotte said. She stood up, leaving money for her untouched coffee. "I hope you find whatever you're looking for, Sophie. I really do." She walked away, and I realized something. She was free now. Free from Ethan, free from the lies. Free from the life that was built on someone else's suffering. Maybe destroying Ethan didn't just hurt him. Maybe it freed the people trapped in his web. Maybe revenge wasn't completely empty after all. 2 months later, I got a job offer. A real one. A law firm that worked with wrongly convicted people, helping them rebuild their lives. "Someone recommended you," the hiring manager said. "Said you understood what it's like to be in their shoes." "Who recommended me?" I asked. "A man named Liam Brooks." Of course he did. I took the job and started helping people who had been where I was, lost, broken, angry. It was hard, painful. Every story reminded me of my own. But slowly, I started to feel something I hadn't felt in years. Purpose. Not the cold, burning purpose of revenge, but something warmer, lighter. Hope. Liam and I began spending more time together. Real time. Not talking about revenge or pain, but about books, movies, dreams, the future. "I'm still angry," I told him one night as we walked through Central Park. "I don't think that ever goes away completely." "Maybe it doesn't," Liam said. "Maybe you just learn to carry it differently, not as a weapon, but as a reminder." "A reminder of what?" "That you survived. That you're stronger than what tried to break you." I stopped walking and looked at him. This man who saw all my darkness and stayed anyway. Who believed I could be more than my pain. "I'm scared," I admitted. "Of what?" "Of being happy. Of letting go." "What if I forget what they did to me?" What if I stop fighting? Liam took my hands. Forgetting and forgiving are different things, Sophie. You don't have to forget. You don't even have to forgive. You just have to decide if you want to keep living in the past or start building a future. And if I'm not good at futures, if I'm only good at destruction, then I guess we'll figure it out together, Liam said. If you want to. No pressure. No rush, just possibility. I looked into his eyes and realized something. Ethan took 5 years from me, but I took the rest from myself, by holding on to the anger, by letting it consume me. Maybe it was time to take my life back for real this time. Okay, I whispered. Okay, let's try. Let's see if I can be something other than broken and angry. Liam smiled, really smiled, and for the first time in 6 years, I smiled back. A real smile. Not a weapon. Just happiness. They sentenced Ethan Walker to 7 years in federal prison. When I heard the news, I felt nothing. No satisfaction. No anger. Just a distant sadness for the girl I used to be, the one who loved him so completely. She deserved better. She deserved to know that love shouldn't cost everything. I visited the prison once. Not to see Ethan, but to face the place that tried to break me. I stood outside the gates and realized something powerful. I was free, though really free. Not just physically, but emotionally, mentally. The prison couldn't hold me anymore. The anger couldn't hold me anymore. I was finally free. I walked away and never looked back. My life now. It's quiet, simple. I work with people who need help. I live in a small apartment with too many plants. I have coffee with Liam every morning. It's not perfect. Some days I still wake up angry. Some days I still remember everything they took from me. But most days I'm just Sophie. Not the girl who went to prison. Not the woman who wanted revenge. Just Sophie. Learning to live, learning to love, learning that healing isn't about forgetting. It's about choosing, every single day, to keep moving forward. Revenge isn't about making them suffer. It's about refusing to suffer anymore yourself. And I'm done suffering. I'm finally, beautifully, completely done.